When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. When you test drive the new Prologue EV, there's a lot that could impress you about it. There's the class-leading passenger space, the clean, thoughtful design, and the intuitive technology. But out of everything, what you'll really love most is that it's a Honda. Visit honda.com/EV to see offers.
And now, live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
Who is Nota Begay III?
A golf commentator who is a buddy of Tiger Woods from Stanford days.
Oh, okay. 2 Masters appearances. Mm-hmm. And he is listed as a type of expert, or he is?
Yeah, I don't like him as a commentator.
Oh, okay. Well, I've just never heard of him, and everybody's listening to him like what he's saying is extremely important.
Well, he is thought to have some insight into Mr. Woods.
Because of Tiger, okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're pals.
Got it.
Stanford. I think he was like his partner a couple of times at various pro-ams. He'd bring him in when he lost his card and play with him here and there. All right.
Yeah. Play ball.
All right. Play ball. It's going to be a nice day, isn't it? Uh-huh. Yankee Stadium today.
Yep.
They got rained. They got yesterday weathered out for the traditional opener at Yankee Stadium. Today, we just saw our friend Mark Topkin doing an MLB Network hit on from Yankee Stadium. He covers the Rays. We've had him on a few times. A good friend of mine. It was a deluge.
Really?
So they're not going to play today either. They're going to miss 2 in a row. That's why I have revealed on Twitter, but I'm ready to reveal here now. Let me find it.
You have a plan?
The Ricey plan. The Ricey for commissioner.
This is going to fix baseball.
Community Protection Act.
And I'm stuck with the early start because of the players, okay? The players want more off days, so I can't change that, right?
Yep.
If I was commissioner and stuck with Thursday, March 29th opener, these teams would be home.
Yep.
Rays, Astros, Mariners, Angels, A's, Rangers, Braves, Marlins, D-backs, Giants, Dodgers, Padres, Brewers, rough.
Yep.
Blue Jays, rough.
Right.
And the Nats. Now, Washington. That's you got to get a 15th team. I'm taking Washington.
All right.
And they're home for 3 series.
All right.
And then on Monday, April 9th, we have the we have the MLB reopener.
All right.
In other words, the other 15 teams have their opener.
Yep.
On that day.
Okay.
And we reopen the season, right?
Well, it's a festive celebration.
We reopen Twins, Whiteys, Tribe, Tigers, Royals, Red Sox, Yankees, O's, Pirates, Cards, Cubs, Reds, Mets, Phillies, and Rockies are home. Mm-hmm. And they're home for 10. Now they're home for 10 games.
And then pretend.
And then everything. Then we start, now we got everybody's played.
Yep.
And nobody comes to the games anyway except for the opener. So we got the reopener. And here's the good news. We got the traditional opener in Washington on March 29th. You know, we try to be nice to the trumpeter and get him to come out and throw the first ball.
Won't. He didn't.
Or Pence or somebody.
Yeah.
And then Cincinnati, they have the reopener because that used to be the old traditional opener because it's where the first Major League Baseball game was. The first baseball game was played.
All right.
On April 9th. It's brilliant.
I think so. One of the great plans of my 2-stadium idea was that the Twins could have had 2 openers.
Yes, right. That is true.
The indoor opener and the
That's
outdoor
true.
opener.
Now,
Can't believe they passed on that.
even the Ricey plan might not have solved what is occurring, the weather. I was just looking at the Winnipeg website, okay?
The Jets?
The Jets. I just wanted to see who covers the Jets, and because they're going to be our opponent, and I think it's fantastic. Now, they're how many hours north of us?
6 hours, let's say.
No, more than that. Yeah, probably more than that. However, north. They're north of us, but their headline says, spring weather still weeks away. Forecast. Weeks.
Plural.
Weeks. Has Dave told us what it's going to be like in 2 weeks?
Jonathan Uhas is predicting thunderstorms a week from this Thursday.
So it will be warm enough for thunderstorms.
60 degrees.
And you know,
a week from Thursday.
Pat, yesterday during GL, we learned that Dave gets hate mail. Judd informed the mayor that the poor guy got booed at the Wild game.
All got booed at the Wild game.
Because he gave the forecast.
Apparently, Channel 5's got some deal on the screen. Hey, when you're driving home tonight, blah, blah, and they booed the hell out of him.
Yeah, that's what I saw last night.
Probably why he's not here today.
That's last night. And these are hockey fans. These are people who like cold weather.
Right.
You do this at Target Field on Thursday, you might get beat up. They might charge you, right? Because they have to play Thursday because Friday's worse. Friday's 27. You don't play. You can't play 27. What's the coldest? Mr. Met Stadium, what's the coldest ever?
Oh, I meant to bring in the book. I think maybe 36.
At first pitch time. Okay.
Yeah.
And during
I'll bring it in. I'll make a note.
But here's what's amazing. Monday, I believe Monday, didn't I tell you that the low, they're playing a night game, right? And the high is 36 or 8 or something. But the low is like 7 or something.
Monday night, yes.
I don't know when it's. Sometime in the next 5-6 days, the low's going to be 7. And we're going to be trying to play baseball.
Can you imagine hitting a ball
7.
with a bat in that degree weather?
And here's the other thing they've done, Joe. These idiots, the Twins not only didn't open till April 12th, they didn't play a night game until May.
Right.
I looked it up when they first moved into this place and they first played some April night game. I think at Met Stadium in 21 years, they played 7 night games in April at Met Stadium, and they all were like that last Friday before May, the weekend.
Well, they're going for a night game Monday night against Houston.
Yeah.
That's not going to be...
This is all done for the glory of FSN and whoever the hell Houston's network is. It's all done for the regional TV fellas. I'd tell them.
The low Monday's 15, which means at 9 o'clock at night, it's going to be 20 degrees.
Yes. Yeah, you're going to start the game, and it's going to be 31. But by the time we end up playing 3.5 hours, and with that Houston lineup, that's the minimum, 3.5 hours. The last time they were here for a 3-game series, they scored 40 runs in 3 days. Now, the Twins' pitching is obviously better, but that means, you're right. It's
wait
18.
A minute.
Can you play when it's 18?
Maybe this will work to the Twins' advantage to slow down that Houston offense.
Well, it could. But if the forecast is that at 9 o'clock it's going to be 22 degrees, you can't play, can you?
I wouldn't think so.
You can't start the game.
Does Major League Baseball have a cutoff point for temperature?
No, I saw an interview with St. Pete with Mike Grandhead in the paper, and they said it's up to the home team.
Well, like you say, they'll play Thursday for sure because Friday's going to be worse.
Friday's worse.
Then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, good luck to you.
Yeah, well, Saturday and Sunday, you got the small issue of snow.
And speaking
in
of
the forecast.
Speaking of the Prez, he's very active on the Twitter and social media and answering fans' questions. And he was asked about 7,000 times if they'd entertain the thought of playing at U.S. Bank Stadium. And he had to keep replying, no, we have never once made that an option.
You cannot do that. No.
We got to make it clear. We're thrilled to be back playing outside.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
You got to use some common sense.
But you got to schedule differently.
Yes.
You can't,
and you can still get April 10th can be terrible.
Right.
but you got a better chance.
I think the warmest home opener in the new ballpark was the first year.
It was 75 against Boston.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And they were here a week earlier, remember, and they played the
St.
Cardinals
Louis
in 2 games, and it was in the 30s.
Yeah.
But it was, it's ridiculous.
Play ball.
How many people, how many of those 39,000, 10,000 aren't going to come to the game?
No. Yeah.
And 15,000 of them will be gone by the 4th.
As soon as they get their free sweatshirt.
Yeah. Are we giving them free? We must be giving them free
I think we're giving them
stuff.
free sweatshirts again this year.
Yeah, they ought to give them free electronic
warmers
or some damn.
Snowsuits.
Just a moment.
The players are all saying baby oil. They put baby oil.
Well,
Here we go. Here we go.
now?
Yeah, now you are, but that's an off the air subject.
Okay.
Please.
How about your Villanovas?
They can shoot the ball. Mm-hmm. They can shoot the ball. They run a nice offense and look like Michigan said, okay, we'll start this game by not guarding this DiVincenzo as hard as we're guarding everybody else, and he made about 6 in a row. And it is kind of interesting that Villanova, in this alleged season of parity in college basketball, was 20 points better than everybody they played.
Every victory in the tournament was by double figures.
The only struggle they had was against Texas Tech, because the West Virginia game, actually West Virginia hung with them for a while, and West Virginia is just rugged. They're a bunch of thugs, and they beat on you. And it took Villanova a while to get started against Texas Tech, but they still handled them. And our guy, Brandon Lang, he gave this to us on. He told us this was going to happen Thursday or Friday, one of those days.
Tom?
Hey guys, I got a question for you, Pat. Why doesn't the players' union go to the owners and somehow negotiate something about temperature conditions that it is acceptable to both parties? Because this is a snow-pulled hamstring away from ruining a season when they're playing in stuff like this.
The problem is the unbalanced schedule means that teams, if the Seattle Mariners were in the Twins division and they were going to come back here, they wouldn't be so desperate to play. But the unbalanced schedule, because they want the Yankees and the Red Sox to play each other 18 times, they have the unbalanced schedule, and 2/3 of the teams that come here, the individual teams that come here, are only here once, and that you got to try to get the games played, because otherwise these teams got to fly in on an off day that you also have an off day, and it's very complicated. But it's imbalanced schedule is a big problem.
Didn't you also say that a lot of the teams down south do not want to load up at the beginning of the season, and then they're stuck playing away from home towards the end of the season?
Well, that's not. No, it doesn't have to be. As I said, on April 20th, you could have everybody having 72 home games left. You just play the places with better conditions, have them play 9 games, and then you come home for a 10-game homestand starting April 10th or so, and then they have 70. It has nothing to do with September. It can just You can get that inequity taken care of by April 20th.
This is going to look like the lineup's going to look like a getaway Sunday afternoon game or Wednesday afternoon game, because you're going to be playing all the scrubs for the first week of the season, just so nobody gets hurt.
Well, they'll play that has never been done. They just play these guys and pray that nobody does anything bad.
All right, thank you.
All right. Now, Big Miggy. Miggy was all bundled up. Snow was all bundled up in Baltimore, where it was 55, right? He had the hat on, and he had he said he had all
the bank robber mask.
Yeah, he had everything ready. He is going to be a hurting puppy the next week or so. That's for sure.
Mike?
Hey, I was just wondering if our local 9 are on the cusp of making Major League Baseball history by losing 3 home openers in one season. Has any other team done that?
I would imagine, yeah. Yeah, I would imagine that there's been teams that opened at 3 different places.
And lost all 3?
Well, they would have to lose here whenever they play that game. But, I'm sure that's happened.
All righty.
Okay.
And
Got him.
John.
Hey, guys. Service Dog John here.
Hi.
Hey, did you guys happen to catch Jimmy Kimmel last night?
No.
He had a great line. He said the game tonight at Yankee Stadium was closed due to the cold.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, I heard it was so cold that even the footlongs were only 5 inches.
That's all right.
Thank you, John.
Okay,
Points awarded.
Yes.
A wild clinch playoffs.
Yes. Yeah, good for them. They go out and shut out an Edmonton team with Connor McDavid trying to win the Hart Trophy as the best player and shut them out, no problem. Even with these new young defensemen. Another UMD kid, Susie. Is it Susie? Susie? How do we pronounce that?
I heard Susie on the broadcast last night.
Okay. That's right, because you were watching. I was watching Villanova, but...
Well, I was back and forth a little bit, but the 6-year-old is locked in on
that's
hockey,
what you
man.
get.
Yeah,
Don't
I know.
take him to a game.
I know,
It's
I
too
know.
late
Get him
now.
on some skates. Let's go.
I met the grandkids downtown last night,
You made it.
and the boy, the 7-year-old boy, was practicing at the Tria Center.
Mm-hmm. Is that what it is?
They have a Tria Rink. They call it the Tria Rink.
St. Paul?
St. Paul.
I thought it was Treasure Island. I gave you the
it's
bump
a Treasure
steer.
Island building,
Oh.
but the Tria Rink. But they have a half hour of instruction with who's the gal, the skating coach that was
Diane Ness.
Diane Ness.
Oh, yeah. She taught Parisi how to skate.
Taught Parisi.
And my 2 kids.
She's got a half hour and and then they bring another group in a half hour later, and they have, I don't know what you learn in a half hour, but they have to get all the equipment and,
One thing
get
you
there.
learn in a half an hour.
What it cost.
That Diane Ness is mean.
Is that right?
That's what the kids say. She's not mean. She's just very direct and doesn't suffer skating fools.
Okay.
How do you
You're there to
teach
learn.
somebody how to skate? It's like swimming. You can you either swim or you don't.
Give them the basics and then finally tune those.
Try to get a little power in those legs.
That Diane Ness skating school is really top drawer.
Anyway, the granddaughter has a birthday Wednesday, so we had to get her gifts, but I took them to a fine meal at Mickey's Diner.
All right.
They made their
right in the
debut
car?
at Mickey's Diner right around the corner.
Nice.
Yes, and they were a little puzzled by the
Clientele.
Why are we eating in a street car?
yes, they were a little puzzled.
Grandpa, what has happened
But they
to you?
had pancakes. They were just fine. They were fine.
Oh, yeah.
But Mickey's got an interesting staff there.
Mm-hmm.
They're very conversant. They'll just kind of wander out in the kitchen and start talking.
Start talking about random whatever you want.
That's right.
Or
Whatever.
don't want.
Yeah, but that's okay.
I think what you were doing was watching the budget.
No, I was looking for a convenient location.
Yeah, that's pretty
more than
convenient.
anything, and with parking.
I was going to say, and you didn't want to have to repark.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Does Mickey's have its own parking?
Yeah, big parking.
Park right
lot
outside
there.
St.
Yeah,
Paul.
it's fantastic.
Companies or whatever it is now.
They can cook an egg and a hash brown too, which is what more do you need in life?
You
That's
know,
right.
Speaking of random talking and people talking about sports, last night as I was waiting to get on this flight, I heard a familiar voice, and he was talking sports, and none other than Bob Sweeney
Really?
was hopping on a
The
flight.
Sweens was
Sweens, and as soon as he saw me, hey, you tell Ricey, you tell Joe, you tell those guys, and so I forgot.
Who's Sween visiting down there?
I don't know. He's making the International Man of Mystery. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
Well, he is an international man. of
Sports Talk will be back shortly, but now thanks to our great friends in Owatonna, Minnesota at Federated Insurance, where it's their business to protect your business, and nobody does that better than Federated. It's Bruce Vail from the Wall Street Journal and Your Money Now.
Hi, Joe. We had another volatile trading session today, but this time we ended up on the plus side. Stocks bounced back from Monday's sell-off, the gains accelerating in the final hour. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 389 points to close at 24,033. The Nasdaq Composite gained 71 points, and the S&P 500 picked up 32. Tyson Foods plans to step up environmental sustainability efforts by changing practices on the grain farms that feed its chickens, hogs, and cattle. The meat company said it is committing to improved environmental practices on 2 million acres of corn production. That's enough to feed all the chickens Tyson produces in a year, and then some. The plan involves steering farmers toward using less fertilizer and reducing erosion. Walmart is teaming up with MoneyGram on a new global wire service offering low flat fees to send money anywhere in the world. They are calling it Walmart to World. I'm Bruce Vail with Your Money Now on 1500 ESPN.
All right. Thank you very much, Bruce. This traffic is sponsored by KFC. You know what? There's no traffic to tell you about. There's no accidents. There's no accidents.
Serious, John?
Not an accident anywhere in the system right now. And,
on these slippery roads, people are being extra careful?
I think everybody stayed home, perhaps.
Oh,
because
okay.
there's no congestion either. So let me tell you that KFC's $20 fill-ups will feed a family of 4 with 8 pieces of delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, 2 sides of taters and gravy, coleslaw, and 4 flaky biscuits for just $20. So stop into a KFC and treat yourselves to a $20 fill-up. KFC, it's finger-licking good. 5 Eyewitness News weather forecast. Cloudy and breezy down to 12 tonight. Sunny and chilly with a high of 30 tomorrow. Cloud and sun mix on opening day, Thursday. 36 for a high. Right.
Here's John Hyde in the newsroom.
Hey, Joe, we have snow out there and 30 degrees. The Wild made the playoffs last night, defeated Edmonton 3-0, and of course the Avalanche lost. The Wild now make the playoffs. The Wild also last night making it official. Ryan Suter has a broken right ankle. He will miss the rest of the season.
It's the ankle, huh? It's not the fibula, huh?
Yeah, it's the ankle. Every report said fibula until the Wild released last night. Ankle.
It looks like it's a high ankle because that part of his leg was pretty high when it bent.
Yeah.
So we have no hopes of him returning for a long and feisty playoff run either. Right?
Nope, that's correct.
He done.
Twins off today. They'll play Pittsburgh again tomorrow night before they come home to play their first home game of the season Thursday against Seattle.
Why the hell don't you play on Tuesday? And then tell that team that's at your place. Mm-hmm. Now, if we get rained out Tuesday, you got to stick around and play Wednesday, okay, boys? You know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Ricey
play
plan is
2
easy.
games. It is common sense. What do we? The garage logic of baseball would be.
You should take your plan to the players' union and say, "Here,
yes, I got it figured out."
Here's
for
a
you.
gift, guys.
Yes.
Here's a gift to you.
Rook, I'm going to assume that you missed Sports Talk yesterday, but speaking of baseball, the mayor was giving Patrick and I a little quiz on 38 different questions on baseball. We only got, I think, a total of 8 correct, but that's not the point.
George Will's pompous questions by a pompous ass.
Have we transferred baseball confidence?
Here's why Joe would make a really poor game show host.
Okay.
And I think you'll relate. He's a bad waiter. Yeah. He wants the answer now.
Why don't you have the answer?
Time was a waste.
Every question. Why don't you have the answer?
the clock.
Yeah, right.
There were a couple times I was sitting out listening. He asked the question, and within 5 seconds, Joe gave the answer because he was tired of waiting.
Sick of waiting.
Well, I could tell looking at you two morons. You got no shot. And for time constraints, I kicked Height and Manny out of the contest.
Yeah, would have never gotten done. Manny might have got them all right, though.
I knew about 5.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you imagine Joe like on Jeopardy? Nope, you're wrong. You're out.
Try again.
News notes from today. The city of Forest Lake has appointed a new council member to fill a vacant seat. The council reviewed 13 candidates for the seat left empty by former council member Mike Freer. Freer vacated the seat after accusations he didn't live in the city while serving on the council. The 4 council members deliberated over several candidates before Mayor Ben Winnick declared a deadlock. Winnick then appointed Blaine Backus to fill the 5th council seat. They'll swear him in at a later date.
So did Mike never live in the city?
That's
he ran, and he never lived there.
He owned a house, but he didn't live in the house. That's the way I took the story when I read it in the past. Chris showing me something right here. City manager of San Bruno, California, says multiple 911 calls are reporting a shooting at YouTube headquarters.
Wow.
So if we get any more details on that, we'll pass those along to you. With the opioid epidemic sweeping through parts of Minneapolis, police officers on the city's hard-hit south side will soon start carrying the overdose reversing drug naloxone. Initially, officials say 125 officers from the 3rd Precinct will be equipped with the life-saving kits as part of a pilot program that was first announced last fall. But Mayor Jacob Fry pledged to outfit the rest of the department's officers by the end of the year. This is commonly known as Narcan. That quickly counteracts the effects of an opioid overdose by blocking opiate receptors in the body and reversing the slow breathing that can cause death.
Is this the stuff they stuck into Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction?
Oh, yeah.
They gave her that shot?
I think this works in a different way, though. You don't have to do
You don't have to jam it right through the heart?
No.
Okay. That'd be hard to do, but I suppose if somebody's dying, you'd take a shot, right?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I broke this needle. Okay, can we get another one? And you're trying to, work in a quick environment.
The best part of that, though, was that he takes her home, and she said, "Well, thank you for the nice evening. Brought me back from the dead, so thank you."
President Trump's description of bleep hole countries prompted 162 complaints to the FCC about news coverage of it, according to public records obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request. Tom Holohan is a professor at the University of Southern California who studies political communication, says, yes, if you're wondering, that's an extraordinarily high number of complaints. Most were submitted online and by phone from January 11th through January 22nd, targeting CNN, which shared the full expletive spoken by reporters and analysts on graphics. The FCC does not regulate cable news. CNN declined to comment publicly for the story. However, there were also complaints against other broadcast organizations, including NPR, NBC, and CBS. NPR chose to air the word unedited. NBC News also offered a warning before quoting the president, and CBS News did not air the full expletive in broadcast or in graphics.
We did not use the word either.
We did not. No.
But if the president uses it, I think you can.
I agree, but we chose not to.
Because we're a class.
Yeah, we're a class.
But those are those people that are calling and complaining, are they the Craig Stadler types that are just waiting to pounce on some type of information and then call it in and, I was offended?
Mm-hmm. Or they're Trump supporters who don't like him looking like a jackass.
Okay, that could be true.
But then that's a full-time job if you're trying to protect him from looking like a jackass.
The Vatican is to hold a training course for priests in exorcism next month.
They need a draft.
Do we got to run right now? We got to run on those or what?
No, there's a shortage of exorcism priests.
But is there a run on exorcisms? Are we?
They're on the increase.
Okay.
Yeah. This is amid claims that demands for deliverance from demonic possession have greatly increased across the world. The Vatican-backed International Association of Exorcists, which represents...
Oh, what a convention that is.
You got a card? You got your card with you?
Yeah, I'm set.
How many did you do this year? I got 4.
What's weirder, that or the furry convention?
Charge? The
wife. If there's a rate system.
The wife used to get pretty good money when she did run around the country doing her interventions. But a couple, $3,000. I mean, you got to get more than that.
What
for
are the dues?
What are the annual dues? You got to get some dough.
$10,000 minimum plus expenses, I would think. Because the guys, you might be a little short of money, but if you're possessed by the devil,
right,
you'd probably want to. You'd spend whatever.
No
took,
limits.
Right?
Yeah. And you want the extra insurance just in case?
It doesn't work. Unless in case he comes back.
In case he comes back, we do this one for free, but it's $99.99.
You get sprayed for termites and they come back.
Yeah.
The International Association of Exorcists represents more
I don't
than
buy it, by the way, but go ahead.
200 Catholic, Anglican, and Orthodox priests said the increase represented a pastoral emergency. According to a priest from Sicily, the number of people in Italy claiming to be possessed had tripled to 500,000 a year. And an Irish priest has said demand for exorcisms has risen exponentially. Last year, the Christian think tank Theos reported exorcisms were a booming industry in the UK, particularly among Pentecostal churches.
What's he doing now?
I don't know. What are you guys doing?
We need your paperwork.
I think Josh should be a good. You think Josh should be a good exorcist?
International in scope.
Right. It is now we go with financial planning and exorcism. We have now found this to be a future. The futures of exorcisms are plentiful. And I will give you 48 minutes for free, 12 of those minutes devoted specifically to believers or non-believer exorcisms.
Okay.
13-year-old
Call
boy.
me now or wait for my live shot with Patrick. Josh, I love you.
Yes, we all do.
You may have seen this yesterday. A 13-year-old boy rescued after being trapped for more than 12 hours in the tunnels of Los Angeles' sewer system.
If he doesn't die of an infection, that'll be the miracle.
Right.
Jesse Hernandez was freed after a massive search by police, fire, and sanitation crews in what rescue officials called a miracle. Hernandez said, "I was thinking like, I'm going to die. I was never going to see my parents again." He recalled what he thought was going through his mind when he plunged 25 feet into a 4-foot-wide sewer pipe from an abandoned concrete building.
My God.
So where'd he plunge from, Johnny?
From
Fell off a bridge or something.
No, he went
he
through,
literally-
Yeah, he just. That's what I just said. He plunged 25
He
feet
just
into
was
a-
walking?
Throw some
four-
money in the CAT
he-
scan bucket for you guys.
He was, yeah, both of them. He was jumping on a wood thing.
You think when they start an exorcism, the exorcist says, "Let's get your paperwork started."
Would you like the deluxe? Or we have a over here. We have a clearance. This is the clearance exorcism. It's kind of half off. Demonic. We may or may not find one, but it's the spring house cleaning.
You have one where you're guaranteed to find something.
Yes, but that will cost extra. This is not cheap.
Call me now. The kid
So
they
he
found,
jumped on a board.
He jumped
and
on a board, just
it
having
gave
fun,
way. Okay.
like kids
Sure,
do.
yeah.
And he fell 25 feet into the sewer pipe. Now, there's a lot of
He's
pipes.
lucky the
so-
fall didn't kill him.
They did get a breakthrough when a camera captured handprints along the walls of a tunnel. After more than 12 hours underground, rescuers finally found Hernandez about a mile east of where he first fell. After sanitation crews pulled him to safety, he immediately asked for a cell phone so he could call up his mom. He said, "Mom, I'm alive. Come pick me up, please."
Don't
Yeah,
be
she's-
fooled by the demons. If they tell you they know a future stock, risen or down, do not be fooled by demons. Exorcise these financial demons with Josh Arndt.
Yankees and the Rays are playing, even though the place looks about a third full and it's raining like hell.
Got to get those ball games in.
Yes, you do. Not under the racy plan.
Masters news, sort of.
Okay.
Spectators who yell phrases like "dilly dilly" will be removed immediately from Augusta National at the
Lock
Masters.
them up.
This is being reported by Bryce Ritchie of Bunkered Online. He reports that security staff at the golf course has been handed a list of sayings that are prohibited. Anyone who shouts them will be removed immediately.
In addition to dilly dilly, dilly dilly's NASCAR, right? Isn't
That's
that?
the Bud Light.
That's the Bud
Bud
Light
Light.
thing.
Okay, well, I thought that was the NASCAR races too. Doesn't?
I don't know. It might be.
This looks terrible. You can see their breath. It's raining to beat hell, and they're trying to play in New York.
Nobody there.
No.
That's not as festive a opener as you'd want.
Well, at least those tickets, I'm sure, were cheap
Yeah,
at
they were
Yankee
reasonably
Stadium for a home
priced.
opener.
So, in addition to dilly dilly, how about you to man?
I'm sure that's one. I do not have a
Okay,
list
in the
front of me.
hole. Get in the
hole.
Get in the hole. That's got to be.
baked potato, or what's the other one? Mashed potatoes?
Never heard that.
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Dilly dilly. Okay. Yeah, they're a little autocratic down there at Augusta. They don't like you to run either. You can't run from one hole to the other.
One other golf story. This is a tough one.
Is that another thing they're banning? Stop running from one hole to the other.
No, they did. They if you scurry, they'll get your
You can get
badge
kicked
number
out?
and throw
Ooh.
you out.
Do you love golf? I don't. Joe,
do.
you do, and
I do.
Pat, you do, and
Yes.
Chris, you do.
More of a mild like for me.
Okay.
Here's a guy who really loves golf.
Okay.
Man was filmed, quote, having sex with the ninth hole while pleasuring himself with the flagpole in Great Britain.
I'm confused already.
Okay.
Now,
Joe, when you go to the
he
golf
took
course, you got one thing on your
He
mind.
took the flagpole out.
He did take the
But
flagpole out.
is he then committing the act with the hole that's
He
been
is
vacated?
he is doing that, and he's
What's
how
he
can
doing
I
with
put
the flag?
A little extra work.
I don't think you need to try.
Yeah,
Jeff.
you
Little
get the
19th
idea.
hole
You get the idea.
Okay.
Oh, very good, Rook. Very good, Rook.
I think we got some emotional issues here with this gentleman.
Stephen Gayton, who was trying to finish the 18-hole course, noticed the man lying on the grass in the rain with his trousers down around his knees. In the video, the man can be seen holding the flagpole while filming himself at Brackenwood Golf Course in Merseyside yesterday.
It's got to be some kind of a challenge, doesn't
The
it?
game can get to you.
Yeah.
I'm so frustrated.
Yes.
After about a minute, the man places the flag back into the hole and gets up from the ground before pulling his trousers back up. He can be seen looking around before casually walking off around the side of a bush. Steven, the fellow who was filming it, said he was on his own and looked like he was just doing it for a kick and filming himself doing it. It's the most weirdest thing I've ever had the misfortune to see, not just on a golf course, but anywhere.
Yeah, I'd say it's top 5. Just you. Thanks for showing me.
Working on his slice.
Yeah.
In Australia, a man who was involved in a bar fight didn't let the knife sticking out of his back get in the way.
Oh.
Yeah, went in to order another pint of beer from the bar
Oh, boy.
before going to the hospital.
Is that tough? Is that tough?
That's tough.
Yeah.
The 27-year-old got into a fight at the Birwa Hotel on Australia's Sunshine Coast with another man. They were both kicked out of the bar where the fight continued, with the 27-year-old being stabbed in the back. Despite the
Can I
knife,
get one more while I wait?
Despite the knife still being lodged in his back, he went back to the bar and ordered another beer. He finished that beer, then went to the Sunshine Coast University Hospital. A Queensland police spokesman said that there had been a substantial amount of alcohol involved in the incident. The two men knew one another. The victim said he doesn't want to press charges, and yes, he will be just fine.
You know, I bet what they were arguing about was cricket, whether the discipline was too severe for
Could have been.
the cricket.
Or
Take it
not
very
severe
seriously.
enough.
Oh, yes, could have been the other.
A New York State...
Preeb and Murph would have had a hell of a, Sounds like Preeb and Murph without the knives.
A New York State man embroiled in a legal battle with the state has started construction on a highway off-ramp leading directly to his business. In other words, building his own ramp.
Okay, I don't think that's legal.
Eric White is a Seneca and owner of businesses, including the Big Indian Smoke Shop on the Cattaraugus Reservation, was seen leading building crews in the construction of the highway exit on the New York State Thruway leading directly to his shop. Federal Highway Administration spokesman said the construction of new ramps would normally require the agency's approval, but said the rules might be different for tribal land. Spokesman said he's researching the matter. Well, the ramp construction is believed to be retaliation from White after an administrative law judge ruled to uphold $2.4 million worth of fines that were imposed on him after he was accused of selling untaxed cigarettes back in 2012. White had argued the sale of cigarettes was legal. He was not required to pay taxes on them because they were native brands transported from one reservation to another. Paul Cambria, White's attorney, said he plans to appeal that decision. Meanwhile, Cambria said White doesn't think his highway construction violates any state or federal laws, says he's just trying to make it easier to get to his shop.
Mm-hmm. He must be doing pretty good, though, if he can afford to build a ramp. We don't know if it's like a beautiful cement kind of ramp.
I saw
a gravel road, or is he doing it nicely, elegantly? Or
I saw some video of it. They had just started it, and they had smoothed out the road like you would normally, but they hadn't laid any concrete yet, so I don't know. You guys remember the show Cops, right? The theme song?
yeah,
sure.
bad boys, what you gonna do?
A teenager in New Jersey was arrested as he sat in the cop car, started singing the theme from the television show Cops after a chase through New Jersey. 16-year-old driving a stolen car when the officers gave chase on Saturday. Officers pursued the vehicle through a golf course before the suspect bailed out. He can be heard singing on the dash cam video once he's arrested. Bad boys. There it is.
So wait a minute.
But
He
he
was
was already arrested.
Oh, yeah, he was already
But they
arrested.
added to the charge for
No, they
singing?
didn't. No,
Oh,
they
okay.
didn't add anything.
No, he just was being clever.
In fact, police released it thinking it was rather amusing.
Okay.
His name was not released because he's a juvenile. He faces charges including eluding, resisting arrest by flight, burglary, and receiving stolen property.
From what I've seen of cops, and not a lot, there's usually drugs or alcohol involved in most of these arrests.
And not a lot of quality shirts.
No,
Actually, rarely shirts. They always take them off.
Is it nonfiction?
Cops?
It's like a documentary style.
Cameras follow the police cars around town.
Oh, yeah.
You're confusing it with Reno 911.
I guess I am.
Right. Yeah, that one is
They film whatever's
based
happening.
on real stories.
Cop was on 20 years, Joe. You've never seen Cops? Really?
You know, I just don't watch a lot of that stuff.
Some neat cars in there.
Boy, the Ricey theory is being endorsed right now.
Right.
Look at the weather in San Francisco.
TV even gave up on the Yankees.
Yeah, they gave up. It was raining and about 20 degrees in New York. Here it's a gorgeous
In
day
San
by the
Francisco.
bay. Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't Seattle going to be in for a shock?
Where's the commissioner? Look at your television, you moron.
Pat, what's coming up?
Mr. Mark Wicker, directly from Augusta at 4:15 or so, and Tom Kelly, first appearance of the year at 5:03.
All right.
Pretty good. And then
I bet he'll buy into the Ricey plan.
Well, he had Metrodome for his entire managerial career.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any complaints because back in the Metrodome days, we would have been one of the teams at home for the first 10 games.
Correct.
Yes. So, yeah, he probably would. I don't think TK ever had many complaints about the Dome.
Well, in a weird way, it's going to be a fun, weird weekend just to watch what happens.
Yes, well, Saturday and Sunday will be really interesting if it's actually snowing like it's supposed to.
1500 ESPN is KSTP, St. Paul, Minneapolis. It's, 29 degrees and a blizzard.